Hey guys, Quinn here. Hope you're doing well. I've been narrowing down scope selections to go on a 6.5. Looked at a few different options. Today we're going to look at this Burris Signature HD. Part of the reason why I wanted to look at it is that it does have a BDC reticle that is doped for the Creedmoor round, and it's a round that I like to shoot. I think it's the 140 grain ELD match. The ballistic characteristics of that round match up with the subtensions that are in this Creedmoor scope. I won't buy a bullet drop compensator scope if the scope is in the second focal plane. To me, it just loses too much utility because those subtensions are only true at typically highest magnification, and then if you want to do it, use it at anything lower, you have to think about how it affects it in your head and figure it out on the fly. This is a 5 to 25 by 50 first focal plane scope. These retail for in the vicinity of, I don't know, $7.50 to $9. You can find them on sale cheaper than that if you look around. One thing I'll tell you is that this scope, I'm pretty sure it has a stamp on here that says made in China. So for some people that is a deal killer in its own right. This scope is made in China. If you go one step up to the Veracity, which is their highest line of hunting scopes, those are made in the Philippines. The XTR2 is made in the Philippines, which used to be made in the United States until the XTR3 came in, or the XTR Pro maybe, but those are made in the United States. The XTR2 is now in the Philippines, the Veracity is in the Philippines, and then when you go to the Signature HD series, it goes to made in China, and I think that the RT series is also made in China. So if that's important to you, that might be a deal breaker right there. It does have a diopter setting. Get that cleared out for my eye. The scope is clear and bright. We're going to have to get it out of this room to do a little bit more analysis, but I have something else coming that we may do a little head-to-head. I do kind of like that the reticle, the post on the reticle taper, which is nice. It does have windage on the right, which is fairly snugged up to the barrel of the 30mm tube. Pull to unlock. These are locking turrets. Little bit of mush, but that's a product of having these locking turrets. When you pop that thing up, there's a little bit of wiggle. Pretty easy to spin, and there are audible clicks, but they're not pronounced loud. Here you go. You can hear them for sure, but you don't hear them quite as loud as you do on some other scopes. And then you push back down to lock. Obviously, on this model, you need the coin or whatever implement you want to use to do a 0 set. It is a 1/4 of an MOA turn. You see where it is marked up. That is, again, unlock. And then push to lock it. Unlock, back to 0, lock it. The nice thing about that is you can dial. I would typically tend to use these subtensions, but then you can dial if you want to make sure that you are doped exactly for your round, or if it doesn't match up, or if you want to shoot beyond the range of the subtensions. I think the subtensions in this case go all the way out to 700 yards. Being an FFP, we'll zoom in. And now at higher magnifications, the eye box is pretty tight. You get maybe 3/4 of an inch before you're off target. 700 yards is what this thing is ranged for. It does have windage holdovers on the horizontal reticle line, and then it also has wind holdovers on the BDC itself as you move down through the holdover. The eye box is very tight when you're all the way up at 25. As you go back down, more forgiving at 3 certainly. And then let's see, if I were to typically shoot at 7 to 11-ish, something like that, let's put it on 10 and see what we think. The diopter is nice. I mean, most scopes that are above the $500 range, you're going to find those. The image is clear. I'm going to put it head to head with something in another video, so stay tuned for that. It does have illumination, which was important to me, especially I hunt at dawn and dusk. The Veracity is made in the Philippines, but it does not offer an illuminated reticle, and it does not offer the Creedmoor. It is only in the E1 or E2 ballistic plex. It does have a parallax adjustment, but it is not marked. Man, that baby's hard to turn too. It is not marked in yardage. It just has small to big, right? So I don't know what the near focus on this is. If it's like some of their other offerings, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 50 yards, maybe 25 yards. And then you're just going to have to get the hang of what that near focus means in terms of yardage by dialing it up. A lot of times on these things, the parallax yardage doesn't match anyway because everybody's eye is different. We'll get this out and do an A-B comparison test next to something else. Feels well made, kind of a slightly in between a gloss and a matte finish. I do like that the turret's locked. They're pretty easy to spin. Maybe a little easier than normally I would be used to. It does have a nice magnification range at 5 to 25, side parallax plus illumination, and the reticle makes sense in an FFP. You get these on sale, you get into them for say $700-ish, around $600 to $800. You're getting a lot of features at the price point. First focal plane scope. If you want to get into a loophole that's a FFP, you're looking at least 2x just to get in the game, and that will not probably have the parallax and the illumination. Those would be the fire dot and the side focus. You would have to pay a premium to add those into a loophole product. This one does come with the forever warranty. It is a nice unit, but again, the MIC sticker, that's a deal breaker for some people. Generally along scope lines, you see some of their best stuff, at least for Burris, is made in the States. Then it goes to the Philippines. There are many, many manufacturers outsourcing glass or manufacturing processes to the Philippines. My Vortex PST Gen 2, for example, comes out of there, and I think that's a fine scope. However, once you go down from that upper tier in the Burris family, you're exporting from the Philippines, you're moving over to China. Politically, that's a deal breaker for some people, and just from a how it works standpoint, that's where they tend to put the lower models of their line. Then you step up to the Philippines for the next level, and then the top tier that they offer, you're going to see the made in the USA. However, it does come with the forever warranty, which is nice to have. It's well thought out, it's well laid out, it's ergonomically correct. The tall turret is bigger than the wind, but it's not as big and onerous as, say, a target turret would be. This has the capabilities that you would need for long-range shooting with that round, offered in a first focal plane scope at an attractive price. So if the made in China thing doesn't bug you, this certainly is worth checking out when it comes to a affordable rifle scope that can get you into FFP with the reticle that hopefully has something that will work for you. I think this would work for the round. I think maybe something else will be going on that scope. If this were made in the Philippines, this would be a lot harder decision, I think, for me. But the made in China thing kind of means it already had one foot in the grave when it came. I didn't realize that it was until after I had placed the order. Still feels like it's well made. The balance is nice. The weight is nice. The features are nice. Burris, this is the Signature HD 5 to 25 by 50. This one's in the Creedmoor, but they have other reticle selections. If you're in that, let's say, $500 to $900 price point, something you might want to check out. It is a very crowded segment of the marketplace, and there are a lot of really good competitive options. So you want to make sure that you look around before settling on this one, but it's something you might want to consider. Hope this helped you guys out. That's it for now. You guys have a great day, and we'll be back. We'll put this up next to something else that's comparable in terms of price category, and I'll see if I can get you a couple of shots downrange through the reticle and see if there's a practical difference in the quality. Thanks. Stay tuned for that one. We'll see you soon. Bye.